Twitch. You're alive.
You're
alive.
So, hi everybody. Happy New Year. It's 2018. This
Merry
is
Christmas.
our Merry Christmas. This is our first. Oh no, we did one for Christmas. This is our first one.
We survived the freezing.
2018.
We survived the frozen tundra.
The frozen tundra of death and destruction.
So it has to play every time.
Yeah, it's something for them to see.
I just play a YouTube video of
'Cause-
someone playing.
No.
So it could be goofy.
No.
Alright.
Anyway, so yeah, what have you been up to the past 2 weeks?
Playing with my stuff?
Alright, well, get into it. What'd you get?
Well, that's in the review section. It's going to go in order, one by one.
Okay.
In the reviews.
Then we'll just skip to
Duh.
news.
I wasn't just going to tell you everything I got. I was going to do it as a review. I don't have any news.
There's a potential direct.
When?
I don't know. Some people said it was supposed to be
Thursday,
this Thursday, but
yeah.
we haven't heard anything of it
Don't
yet.
they usually tell us by now?
Sort of. But, well, you don't think it's true?
Not Thursday. We should get one this month,
We should.
right?
We should, potentially.
Because we need to know what's going on in the world of Nintendo this year.
We do. You're right.
Throw it at them. All right.
So,
Yes.
I don't think there. Yeah, I don't think there was anything really else too much. So, okay, I'm good with news.
What about the rumor?
Which one?
Link's Awakening.
Oh
You butthole. I can't believe you forgot that.
I did forget that.
How could you forget such a
So-
thing? Well, this is what we talked about a couple weeks ago about Grezzo.
Grezzo. Yeah, so there's
we
a
didn't-
rumor going around that we're going to be getting a new Zelda game for 3DS in 2018, and the rumor is stating that it's going to be a Link's Awakening remake. It's something about in the vein of Breath of the Wild, so I'm not
That doesn't
exactly
even make
sure
sense.
what that means.
That doesn't really make
but,
sense.
I mean, Link's Awakening was open,
Well, then they don't need to change anything. So,
so I love Link's
so that's
Awakening.
what they're working on. We didn't even guess Link's Awakening.
I love Link's Awakening, so if
I
we get a
hate it.
remake of it, I'm so excited.
Maybe they'll make it better.
Excited.
Maybe they'll
Actually,
make
that's
it
what
better.
remakes do.
Yeah. You know, past couple of weeks, for some reason, I just really wanted to play the Street Fighter HD
Okay.
remix that came out. And man, I forgot how good looking that game is. And then I realized that there are not a lot of 2D games that got remade in HD. DuckTales looks amazing because it looks
Oh
just
my
like
gosh, yeah.
the cartoon.
I want that
Street
on
Fighter
Switch.
2 and Earthworm Jim. They're the only classic games that have
To an extent, Sonic
2D
Mania, but
No. They're the only classic 2D games that have been remade in HD. And they look fantastic.
yeah, they
So
do.
now I'm thinking, why the heck, man, doesn't Nintendo go back and do like an HD Mario 3, man? Oh my god.
I hear HD.
All of them.
Like 1, 2.
All these classic 2D games are not being touched.
Maybe they have.
And they
other
look amazing.
plans.
Like, I look at Street Fighter, I'm like, oh my gosh, because it's all completely hand-drawn, you know.
Probably because they don't want to harpen into their
Virtual console.
virtual
See,
console.
that sucks, man.
Whatever.
Why don't they just do an HD virtual console? Collection? What 2D game would you like to see remade in HD?
In HD or just remade?
Well, anything that's remade now, it's gonna be HD, you bonehead.
Link's Awakening remake. That's on 3DS.
Well, why are they doing it on 3DS when we have a Switch?
Because they gotta get the 3DS owners. Something.
No, they don't. We got enough games. No, why would they cheat anyway? Like for the Switch or for the PS4?
World. I would love to
Mario
see
World.
Mario World. Done. I think that would be
Mhm.
cool. Another 2D game. Um. Um.
There's so many of them.
I know.
Pretty much anything on that SNES Classic could be.
How about the? It'd be a remake of a remake, but Metroid Zero Mission, which is a remake of the first one, but in
Well, you could do
HD.
any of those Metroid games, really.
Fusion.
Super Metroid, Fusion, yeah.
I would love a Fusion remake.
Yeah, yeah. Oh boy.
I think that's pretty much. Well, no, because I'm sure there's other things. But
Donkey Kong Country.
did you see that
And
video?
I do like the look of the old SNES stuff, but just
Did I send you?
I
that
don't need to
video?
remake that. Just remaster it.
Did I send you that video?
I've seen the Unreal thing.
The
Yes.
fan made Donkey Kong Country 2
Yes.
Rainbow Blast thing? Like, oh my
Yeah, you
gosh.
sent it to me. I
That-
like the
I would
way
love
that game
that.
looked. I just need to remaster, touch it up a little. I think just keep the same style of that game.
I would like a Donkey Kong Country trilogy.
Yeah.
HD collection on
They
Switch.
don't do much with collections,
I
do
know.
they? Because of the virtual console, like you said.
Well,
That's the problem.
I was
here.
listening to a podcast or a discussion, and they're thinking that they're not going to go with the name Virtual Console anymore, or else they would have said it. They think they're going to rebrand it with something else.
Mhm.
So I'm not exactly sure what they're thinking is, what they're going to do.
They said it was going to be a subscription dumb thing.
No, that's the online thing. That's not the
No.
Virtual Console. That's not the Virtual Console.
Well, maybe if they do a direct soon,
Yeah.
we would find out.
Hopefully.
They haven't done anything with their online. It's been a year, almost a year. Since that freaking system's been out. Hide behind there. Did it still hit you?
I don't know.
Oh.
Yeah.
They were gonna do a Mortal Kombat one, but they didn't.
For what?
With all new
Switch?
actors. No, remaster Mortal Kombat
Okay.
1 with all new actors doing mocap.
Okay.
But I don't know whatever happened to it. It never came out.
Hmm.
Never happened.
Strange.
Yeah, I don't know. I have to look into that, see what happened with that. But yeah, DuckTales looks just like the cartoon. Man.
Oh, I love the DuckTales
I mean,
remake.
that's a remake there, boy.
I don't remember them being this big inside.
You're in
regular
Master
ones.
Quest mode, dog.
Master Quest mode.
Anyway, now they're saying that there might be 3 or 4 guest characters in the Soul Gallery.
Seriously?
Rumor has it. I don't believe that at all.
Yeah, I don't. Really? 3? Wow.
I don't.
But who?
Who knows? Could be anyone. Put the dumb Assassin's Creed guy in the last one.
That's true.
I don't know who's popular right now. With a weapon. I don't know. That Bloodborne game.
Yeah.
Well,
Are we still on that question?
no, because I don't know. No. You've done every cool video game character in Soul Calibur.
Just bring some back. How about that?
I'd like to see Kratos back because he was only in the PSP game.
Really?
So I never got to play with him and see what his ending was. Kind of sad about that.
Would you like to see Link back? But they're
I
not
really
bringing it
got
to.
him. Well, now they're saying that might happen later.
Really?
There might be a Link and a Fire Emblem character. That was the rumor.
I can see a Fire Emblem.
Which, you know, this is all rumor.
Okay. Are we moving to a reviews then?
I got a whole bunch.
I have.
How do you want to do this?
2 movies. That's it.
That's it.
That's it. 2 movies.
I'll go ahead
So, first one, I'll do the weird one first. Tropic Thunder. It was on Netflix, and we watched
Yeah,
it.
you guys pick random.
It was.
I don't even remember really anything from that movie.
I mean, it started out funny because it was
be
doing like
honest.
parody trailers of other movies.
Was
It was
it?
kind of cool. I mean, obviously the whole thing was a comedy. You had Jack Black,
Yeah.
Robert Downey Jr.
I don't even
Ben
remember Jack
Stiller.
Black being in it.
You
Was
don't?
he? No.
He was like a crack addict.
Really?
Yeah,
Shows you how much I like that movie.
I know, right? But
Oh, The Room. I forgot to write that. Let me not forget The Room. Well, that's another thing added.
okay. Anyway, so it was weird.
I'll start.
Like, I don't even know how to describe it too much. I mean, it's almost like a parody movie, but it follows these
Yeah.
actors that try to go.
It's not like Naked Gun parody, though. You
No,
ever seen
but
the Naked Gun movies? Jason just got the trilogy for Blue.
no, I haven't.
My gosh, they're goofy.
But it's these actors that go to
Yeah, that's right. They were
film.
actors.
and then
Yeah, and then they got caught up in a real
in a real what they
war or
thought
whatever,
was
right?
Well, it was what they thought was like training or whatever, but it wasn't. Ouch. So
You're gonna make your meals in this mode.
yeah, it was. I mean, it was funny. Don't get me wrong, but
Was it? Was it?
I thought it was.
I gotta click my thumbs. Oh,
But I
fuck.
give it like a 2.5. I mean, it was so
Not bad,
stupid,
huh?
but it was funny at the same time. So
Well, comedies are based on different things.
yeah. Oh,
Sometimes it's based on how funny it is. Like Austin Powers is pretty darn funny to me.
Yeah. I mean, I think Austin Powers is funny.
They were like the funniest movies at the time, man. Oh my gosh.
I met a guy that played in it.
Yeah, I know. You said the random bit part. You want to do your other one? Well, I can do all mine in one shot.
All right, that works. So my other one.
Jumanji.
Yeah, Morgan and I went to see the
Jumanji.
new Jumanji, and it was hilarious. So if you're going in thinking it's like a serious tone, almost like the
Why would you
original,
think
then
that? Was it or wasn't it serious?
it
movie?
had
It was
its
a kid.
it had its serious tones. But this one is definitely more comedy driven. I think it's hilarious. Jack Black plays an awesome teenage girl. Like it. How does spoil one
Did they
bit.
mention the first movie? Is it connected to the, or is it just a brand new thing?
It is connected.
Did they say?
They don't outright say it, but you
Well, how do you know it
see
is?
it because there's little nods. But oh shoot. So
Fire.
there was one. I'm just gonna spoil this little PG-13 warning coming up, but there was. So obviously, Jack Black's character is a teenage girl
Oh.
stuck in a middle-aged man's body. What is happening
He's
here?
burning you up.
So at one point, is it Blood Moon? So at one point, Kevin Hart's character says that he needs to go to the bathroom. And Jack Black is like, "Oh, finally! I have been waiting for someone else to go because I'm gonna need you guys to tell me how to use this thing." So there's a whole scene of that, and it is actually hilarious. And Jack Black's like, "This is amazing. I should be Instagramming this right now, but I don't know where my phone is." It was just random stuff like that. Plus, at one point, one of the Jonas Brothers is in it. He plays a character, and I think it's Nick Jonas. And Jack Black's character kind of has a thing for him, or the girl does. So at one point, they hug, and then they back away, and Jack Black's just kind of standing there, and Dwayne Johnson says, dude, you might want to look down. And Jack Black's like, "What? Oh my gosh, this thing is amazing." I'm like, "What?"
Oh, right.
It was just kind of funny. Like, there's a few little things like that, but I would definitely recommend. I'd give it a 4. I'd give it a 4. The story itself is kind of whatever. I mean, it connects and it works, But since it's technically with like high school students, you still get some of that cheesy high school drama in it. But other than that, I thought it was good. So go see it. Okay, go ahead.
I did watch commentary on Guardians 2
Okay.
with James Gunn. He said that movie takes place 2 months after the first,
Oh really?
which is impossible. It's like I said about the whole FedEx thing with Stan Lee. Unless you place Guardians 1 after Civil War, then you could do it.
I mean, I guess you could because it's
I don't
really.
think it's referenced anywhere.
Yeah.
It's the Guardians. It can't be, really. But they referenced the Infinity Stones. But there wasn't any... I don't know. He does good commentary.
This is the first commentary you listened from him?
No, he did commentary on the first one, too.
Okay.
But I don't even know what to say about it. It's been a while. That was a while ago. He was just talking about how he got all the music in the movie. All his first choices were in there. He got everything he wanted, and
Okay.
the song "Brandy," which is the main song in the movie, was actually a personal thing with him that he went through himself when he was in college. That's why that song was in the movie.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know what else to say about it. He does good commentary though. He's interesting, and all his buddies are in the movie. And his brother plays the one guy, the soup guy. That's his brother.
Ha!
Yeah.
Seriously?
Sean Gunn. Anyway, I'll return to James Gunn later. Okay, so I got a heaping pile of reviews because obviously it's Christmas time and I get stuff. I get stuff for Christmas. I buy my own stuff with my Christmas monies.
Right.
So I'll just go. Oh well, before we do that, I forgot a couple weeks ago that me and my other brother, Mason, we watched The Room.
Alright, where's this rock?
Which, if you've been keeping up with the movie scene lately, there is a movie out called The Disaster Artist with James Franco.
Yes.
Which is about the making of this movie called The Room, which I had never heard of before, but it is a terrible movie that came out in 2003 that has this huge cult following because it's so bad.
Okay.
So me and Jason wanted to watch this movie, and it's... Well, the first 10 minutes of the movie is almost a porno. There's so much sex in the first 10 minutes of this movie.
Okay.
It's like, what? The acting is so bad that you have to see it. It's funny. Funny bad, the acting. The main guy, Tommy Wiseau, who wrote, directed, and produced the movie, which is who James Franco plays.
Okay.
It's just, his acting is so... I've never seen anything quite like it. I mean, you really...
I don't know if that's a good thing or not.
The story was just... I think the movie took place in 2 locations.
Okay.
Like inside of a house and on a roof. I think that was pretty much it.
What?
And the writing was just basic.
Wind Waker.
It's just a basic story. The guy has a depressing ending, which I didn't see coming.
Okay.
Just about a guy he's in love with his girlfriend and they're gonna get married, but she doesn't love him anymore and cheats on his best friend, and he finds out.
Well then.
And some of the parts of the movie just didn't make sense. It's interesting.
Okay.
But this Disaster Artist movie is getting rave reviews.
Yeah.
My dad actually
I've
went
heard.
to see it. He said it's freaking hilarious. So I guess I'll probably watch it. Jason, I'm sure my brother's gonna get it when it comes out. So I'll just borrow it from him.
How did you guys watch
think
The Room?
James-
Did you rent it?
I got it from Netflix. On the
Okay.
disc
Oh,
service.
the
The
disc
disc
thing.
service has
Okay.
everything. Yeah, so that's how. And there was a character in it. His name was Chris R.
Nice.
And he only appears in one scene.
Nice.
Yeah, I forgot about that a couple weeks ago. What do I give it? I give it a 3 just based on enjoyment of the badness. It is one of those movies that's so bad that
That's good.
that it's entertaining. It was entertaining, not in the way it probably was meant to be,
Right.
because it's serious, dramatic
Right, right.
Not. I mean, there is some goofy, funny parts. I don't think he meant for it to be as funny as it is, but and you can always go on YouTube. They have clips from the movie too,
Yeah.
which is where I first saw it. Okay, that's the room. Okay, now for my Christmas gifts. Oh my gosh, hype, hype.
Hype.
Yes, there's a documentary called Hype. Okay, now
Is it hype?
It's about the grunge scene from the early '90s, the Seattle music scene.
Okay.
Of course, that's my favorite musical era, and anything that had to do with it, I bought. And this movie was on DVD, so I bought it years and years ago and watched it. Well, Shout Factory, who's been releasing awesome things, I keep talking about them, they released a 20th anniversary Blu-ray of this documentary. So I had it on my wish list, got it for Christmas. I watched it again, and it's better than what I thought it was, actually. It doesn't really focus on the main bands that made it big, like Nirvana and Pearl Jam and Soundgarden. It focuses really on all the other bands that were, like, it's a ton of them. That Seattle just had this huge music scene, and people just took notice to it. And then Nirvana came out with "Smells Like Teen Spirit" and just blew everyone away. So then everyone was signing all these Seattle artists, and they just thought it was a big joke because over there they played music for fun. They weren't. That was the thing about Nirvana and Pearl Jam, and they didn't want to be famous. They just wanted to play music. But then they were so good that people took notice. And they were sort of making fun of the fact that this whole Seattle scene became a trend, that even the fashion of around Seattle, because it's cold up and rainy up there, and it's a logging community. Okay. So there's a lot of lumberjacks, so they wear flannel. So flannel, which I don't know if you remember, but in the early '90s, flannel was a big thing. Our mother bought us flannel T-shirts because that was the thing. Yeah. And they're laughing about this. They're like, "We wear flannel up here because it's freaking cold," or flannel with, and the other thing was shorts with long johns. That was like the thing. Okay. And they were like, this has become like a fashion statement in New York. They got like these uppity clothing stores that selling this stuff for hundreds of dollars, and they're like, "We wear this stuff because it's cold up here," and people are turning it into a fashion trend. Like they were making fun of it. It's really interesting stuff. They showed a lot of bands that you would never hear. Right. Some of them were actually pretty good. But they did talk about Nirvana, because Nirvana is what made them big, made that whole scene big. And they did have a new special feature on there that was like 20 years later, and they talked to a lot of the bands and the people that were involved in the movie 20 years later, kind of see what they're up to and what was going on with the scene. And the one lady kind of said what I've always thought. She was like, Nirvana, sort of exploded the scene in the early '90s with "Smells Like Teen Spirit," and then when Kurt Cobain died, it killed that genre too, which is true. After that, you didn't really see. I mean, there have been offshoots of it. Alternative rock sort of shot off of the grunge scene in the early '90s, but it wasn't as popular as it was. Right. It was huge in the early '90s. Huge. So it didn't last that long. It's kind of sad. That was an interesting special feature too. It showed a lot of the people from the movie.
Okay.
I didn't watch the other special features because they were on the DVD I had. So I just watched the news.
Okay.
So if you're interested in that whole early '90s rock scene, check this movie out and see where it all started, see where it all came from. Okay, next movie, Waiting for Guffman.
Okay.
This was a movie from my childhood, sort of, from my childhood. This was a movie my dad rented. It came out in '96. It's a mockumentary. Which, if you know anything about Spinal Tap was the first mockumentary movie about this rock band. It was a fake rock band, but it technically was a real rock band. Okay. Because the actors, now I'm talking about Spinal Tap now. I shouldn't even be talking about Spinal Tap. The one guy that was in the band who played Nigel, Christopher Guest, he wrote and directed this movie of Waiting for Guffman. Okay. Which is about this small town who is celebrating its 150th anniversary. They were making a play to to celebrate the history of the town. So it's about this guy named Corky, and he's played by Christopher Guest, and he's this sort of feminine. He doesn't say he's gay, but he is. Like, they never say he's gay. But he says he has a wife, but you never see her. And he talks. When I was a kid, I thought it was freaking hilarious the way this guy talked. Oh my god. And it's a mockumentary. It's a documentary style. It's not a documentary. I always thought that was one of the most interesting. It's not of type of genre you see a lot of. The Office was sort of like that. If you notice, it's sort of like a documentary. The Office. The way they like people talk to the camera. Yeah, that's like a documentary. I think that's the closest thing in recent years has been The Office. The only person that's been doing these documentaries has been Christopher Guest. He's done a few of them. There was another one called Mighty Wind. It was about a folk band. But anyway, it's about him and all these quirky characters that are in this play, and it's funny. It's humorous. It's a cute movie. I bought it for nostalgia reasons. And they show you almost the entire play. And I will say that the music in that play is freaking catchy. And then I noticed in the credits the people that wrote the music were the guys that were in Spinal Tap.
Okay.
The actors from the Spinal Tap movie wrote all the music. I didn't realize that. I thought, oh my gosh. Because they were all actors, but they all wrote the music in Spinal Tap too. So technically, they were a fake band and a real band at the same time because they all wrote and played the music.
Okay.
It's weird. Like, it's the weirdest thing I've ever seen. But they wrote the music for this movie, even though half of them weren't even in it. Christopher Guest was in it. But there's a ton of deleted scenes. It's like, that's it. They only have deleted scenes. There's no other special features besides commentary. But, if you like Spinal Tap, you might like this movie. I mean, it's about a completely different subject matter. Spinal Tap was genius. That movie was freaking hilarious. I mean, this movie's not as good, but it has its moments. Especially with Corky and his quirkiness.
Right.
I give that a 3.5 maybe.
Okay.
If you would have asked me back when I was a kid, I would have told you a 4.
Okay.
I just thought it was funny when I was younger. Not so much now, but I still enjoyed watching. Waiting for Guffman. It just came out on Blu-ray. I had it on my wish list.
Okay.
So, came out in '96. Okay. Dawn of the Dead.
Okay.
Now, not the original. Shout Factory again. Shout Factory did a collector's edition of the Zack Snyder Dawn of the Dead, which came out, 2004, 2005.
Okay.
I think, which, if I remember correctly, I did, because this was always on my list of movies to buy, but I don't know why I never had it. Because usually when a movie came out, I'd go to the movies and I'd buy the DVD. I don't think I went to the movies to see this. I think I rented it when it was on DVD.
Yeah.
And I remember this was the first zombie movie I ever really liked. So I had it on my list for the longest time, and then they came out with a new collector's edition, so I thought, yeah, I put it on my wish list and I bought it. So Zack Snyder, whom we all know from, he directed 300 and Batman vs. Superman, Justice League, and Watchmen, so he's a pretty big deal. And I think this is one of his best movies.
Okay.
It's very different from those movies.
Okay.
But he does such a good job, and I never did see the original Dawn of the Dead. It's about, the zombie apocalypse.
Okay.
Now, this is back in 2004. This is before Walking Dead. And some survivors take refuge in a mall. That's what it's about. They try to survive in a mall.
That sounds like...
In a mall. Well, the mall is closed.
What was that one game?
Oh, yeah, Dead Rising.
Yeah.
You're right. I'm sure that's where I got the idea. That was in the original movie, too.
Okay.
From George Romero back, whenever that came out. I don't even know. No big actors in this movie, to be honest. Ving Rhames, if you know who he is. He was the cop. No big actors. And I did not realize that Mr. James Gunn wrote the screenplay.
Really?
I did not know. In fact, there's a new special feature where they're talking to him. And he was talking about how he loved the original movie.
Okay.
He was asked to write the remake, and he's agreed. He was getting death threats from fans. Because, and this I didn't know, he wrote the first 2 Scooby-Doo movies. James Gunn.
The live action ones?
Mm-hmm.
Seriously?
Yeah. And they were like, we don't want the guy who wrote the dumb Scooby-Doo movies to write this movie. And he,
I never had a soft spot for those.
Which I couldn't believe James Gunn wrote this freaking movie. Well, you can't really tell. It doesn't. Like Guardians was very jokey. You know,
Yeah.
and this one isn't. It's pretty serious sometimes. I mean, there are a little bit of funny moments, but it's pretty serious for the most part. It's a horror movie.
Wow, I can barely. Can't do anything.
But it's a great movie. I mean, it's out. This and Zombieland are the only two zombie movies. Well, I Am Legend. I guess they were zombies.
Zombieland. I forgot about
That
that.
movie, well, that's more of a comedy, but
Yeah,
I
it
still
is.
really like that one. For serious zombie movie, this is my favorite. And there is a zombie baby in it.
Is there?
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, it's very quick, but there is a zombie baby.
Weren't we
I
just
finally
talking
get to
about
see a
that?
zombie baby.
I feel like we were just talking about something like that. How you never see like zombie kids or babies.
Yeah, The Walking Dead. It bugs me. How creepy would that be to see a baby crawling? You know what I mean? Trying to eat something.
Yeah.
Or even a little. There is a kid in this that's a zombie. That's the first one you see. Oh, I tell you what, the opening scenes in this movie are freaking incredible.
Are they?
Oh my gosh, they're so good. Like the apocalypse
Yeah.
starting, which is scary. I think the zombie apocalypse would be the scariest thing in the world.
Yeah.
If it really happened. I'm serious. You watch the beginning of this movie, it's like, this is probably what it would be like.
Right.
It's pretty bloody. And there was a stunt in this movie. I don't know how they did. But the poor lady, I don't know how she survived it. But there's the main woman, her husband or whoever, her husband or whoever gets bit, and he turns, and she's running from him. She runs into the bathroom, and it's a top view, like,
Yeah.
and she flips back in the tub, nails her head against the ceramic tile. I mean, it's for real. I don't know how. I mean, it's obviously a stunt woman because you can't see her face.
Yeah.
But how that stunt woman did not like get a concussion or I've
Maybe
never
she
seen a
did,
stunt
I
like
don't
that.
know.
I don't think I've ever seen because it wasn't a CG. There's no way.
Right.
The CG in this movie, it's pretty old and you can see it's kind of
Yeah.
dated. Especially on Blu-ray and high def, you can really tell. Like the movie's really brightly colored too for a horror
Right.
movie. Oh my gosh, outside the greens are like popping out at you, like oh. But I don't know how that stunt just blew my mind.
It's funny because I showed Morgan Tremors.
Oh, I haven't seen that in forever.
It's on demand, and she's never seen it, so we watched it last night.
Did you?
And it's like, oh, that is such a '90s movie. 'cause,
Yeah, Tremors is. Oh yeah.
Like you can tell, just not just from oh my gosh, not just from like graphics. Well, yeah, graphics alone, you can tell.
Yeah.
It's it's crazy.
What was I gonna say? There's a lot of special features on it, but this movie came out during the heyday of DVDs where they had tons of special features. There's 2 discs. Because there's the unrated version,
Okay.
which is like 10 minutes longer, which is the one I watched. And the first disc has all new special features except for deleted scenes. The
Okay.
second disc is all the special features from the DVD. But the new special features, they talk to the actors and James Gunn, which
Okay.
that was probably the most interesting thing on it. That was about it. They talked to the makeup guy, whose wife is the actress from Nightmare on Elm Street.
Okay.
I thought was interesting. Because she was talking there too. Like, oh, there's Nancy from the main chick from Nightmare on Elm Street. She was in like 3 of them. And on the old DVD special features, there was like this old. It had some pretty neat stuff. One of them was because they talked to this guy across the street.
Okay.
Who's on top of his gun shop because he was stranded. And they talked to him through like signs.
Okay.
Well, there's a special feature that's all about him. He like made his own video that takes place during the movie or before the movie and then during the movie.
Okay.
It's like 20 minutes long. I thought that was pretty neat. See, they don't do stuff like that anymore too much. Back then, man, DVDs were awesome back then. There's all kinds of freaking special features back then. Nowadays, I feel like they don't do much. It kind of saddens me. A little bit.
Yeah.
Except for The Hobbit. The Hobbit movies had just as much as The Lord of the Rings. I guess it depends on who makes it. Anyway, I'm rambling. Dawn of the Dead, check it out. Zack Snyder's Dawn of the Dead. Okay. I did get the 4K Terminator 2. Now, I didn't watch it yet. I'm waiting to get my 4K player.
Okay.
but there is a new hour-long documentary. Finally, Terminator 2 is one of those movies I've been waiting for like a proper release because none of them. I mean, the old DVD release had some stuff on there.
Okay.
But the Blu-ray didn't have anything. In fact, a lot of the special features from the DVD didn't even carry over into the old Blu-ray.
Okay.
Well, this, they finally had a new 55-minute documentary talking about, they talked to Arnold, they talked to pretty much everyone except for Linda Hamilton. They didn't talk to her. I don't know why. James Cameron's on there talking about, that made me want to watch it. It's such a great freaking sequel. It might be probably the greatest sequel. In terms of, because the first one was kind of low budget,
Okay.
a little bit. You still watched it. But this one, it's like, oh my god! In fact, I brought it for you to watch, since I don't need it anymore.
Oh, the second one?
Yes, because you can't watch the first one without watching the second. Let me just tell you.
Okay.
You have to watch. It was groundbreaking at the time. Groundbreaking. Let me just tell you. Documentary's great.
Picture in picture. Okay.
Picture. Yeah, I guess you can watch. You want to see special features. I don't think there's anything I learned in the documentary. Oh, when you watch this, don't watch the extended special edition. Watch the special edition.
Okay.
Do not watch the extended special edition. I know it's longer, but it has a coda that doesn't make sense.
Okay.
Should not canon. So when you put this in, look for special edition.
Okay.
It's better than the theatrical. It's a lot longer, I think.
Okay.
A long movie, it's 152 minutes. That's 2 hours.
It's about normal nowadays.
This is 91, man. This is
Oh,
1991.
back then. Yeah.
I didn't watch it. I'll probably review one actually. Okay, moving on. I got one of your favorite bands, Guns N' Roses. I know you love Axl Rose so much.
I do.
Knocking on Heaven's Door. Yeah, I got the greatest hits Christmas because I wanted it because they got good songs. Thankfully that song was on there. I was very happy that song was on there. They are a classic band, man.
I understand
Good
that, but
stuff.
his voice during that
He's
song
very
just
unique.
annoys
He's
me.
got a unique voice, I will say that. All their big hits are on there, pretty much. Basically, greatest hits.
That annoys me so much.
Okay, Arkham Knight. I bought Arkham Knight because I waited for Game of the Year edition. Never came out.
Okay.
I downloaded everything, which was a ton of stuff. Tons. Let me try and remember. There's like 6 story stuff. Okay, I'll go through those. There's a Harley Quinn story pack,
Okay.
which was basically nothing to it. You go free Poison Ivy from the prison.
Okay.
That's it. It's short. You play just like Batman. She has her own sense. Everyone has their own sense. All these different characters, because Batman has like detective mode where you can see like through walls up, see where people are.
Yeah.
She has her own. Nothing to that. Same thing with the next one, which you played as Red Hood, and you fought against Black Mask. Same thing. You fight a bunch group of people. You do a stealth thing, and then you fight some more people in the boss. Then you're done. A couple of them are like that. There was a Batgirl one that was a lot longer. It was like 2 hours long.
Okay.
You had to save Gordon. It took place before the first game, which was Arkham Asylum. I don't know if it took place before Origins. Probably not. Where you play as Batgirl, and you have to try and rescue Gordon from the Joker, and it's in the amusement park, which we've seen a million times. So it's not even a new level. But there was actually stuff to do. You had to free these people, and you had hostages, other hostages, and you had to figure out how to free them. And there were things to shoot, stuff like things to find. That one wasn't too bad. And then there was a Catwoman one. We had to get revenge on Riddler, because Riddler kidnaps her in the third.
Okay.
And that one was the hardest. I had a hard time fighting all these robots at the end because the floor starts getting electrified, and it's like, oh my gosh, you can't move certain spots. It's hard to do in that game. You control yourself. I should beat it. Catwoman was hardest. There was a Nightwing one. I don't remember I don't remember what was the nightwing was. And then there was a Robin one, Tim Drake Robin.
Okay.
And you find out him and Batgirl got married after Arkham Knight.
Okay.
The Tim Drake one, I don't even remember the Tim Drake one now. They were all pretty basic story modes. But the best thing was they added story chapters to the actual game itself. Those were the best.
Okay.
Featuring 4 villains with Mr. Freeze, because Nora was missing, you had to find Nora. Mad Hatter one was really cool. There's a sequence at the end where he like brainwashes you and you think you're in this book, the storybook, and it's like cel shaded. And the Mad Hatter's gigantic looming over you, turning the pages. Like, it was cool. And you had to find these cop cars. You had to listen for the siren. I had a hard time on the one level trying to find this cop car. Gosh, to defuse the bombs. That one was cool. And then there was one with Killer Croc. You had to go through this prison.
Oh, shoot.
And what was the other one? Oh, Ra's al Ghul.
Alright.
He was dying, and you had to choose whether or not to save him.
Alright.
I chose to kill him.
Did you?
Or destroy his machinery. He didn't actually die. He
Okay.
probably died then, though. But he's dying in the prison when you think of it. You know what's cool is all the villains you capture go to the prison,
Okay.
and they're all in the cells talking to each other and stuff. You can actually talk to each one of them.
Really?
But there's this guy called Deacon Blackfrost, which I never heard of him. He must be from the comic. He was in the prison, and then I had to go somewhere, and there he was in a cage. I'm like, how did you get from the prison cell to this cage? And there must have been some weird glitch. I actually fell through the game, too. It was a weird glitch. I fell and fell
I
and
heard
fell.
that Arkham Knight is a little more buggier than...
Yeah, I don't even know what happened. And I'm falling and falling and falling and falling like for like 5 minutes. I finally died.
Oh my goodness.
But there's a bunch of skins which I didn't play around with. So I just did DLC. I wasn't going to play the main game again because Street Fighter updates happening soon. So next week actually. Okay. Quantum Leap. I got the complete series. You ever watch Quantum Leap?
I know.
Quantum Leap was a show on when I was a kid, and it was one of the very few adult shows that I watched when I was a kid. It was on, I thought it was late 80s, but it was actually early 90s. The first season was 89. I got the complete series when it came out on Blu-ray, surprisingly. I got it for Christmas. And I always thought the idea behind this show was so great. And what it's about is it takes place in the future, well, the future of 1989, which I guess was the 90s. I still don't know what the present day is.
Okay.
But the beginning of the show is like, it goes right into it. It's about this guy, Sam Becker, he's a scientist. He created this time travel process called quantum leaping. So he gets in the machine, and what happens is he leaps through time, but he inhabits people's bodies.
Okay.
And he can only travel
Second.
during his lifetime.
Okay.
So it's limited. So he only goes from 1953 to whatever the present day is. I guess I'm assuming it's the 90s. And when he leaps into a body, he has this guy from the future. He's like a hologram, but he can see him and no one else can see him. He's got this computer thing. His name's Al. He smokes a cigar and he loves women.
Ow.
Yeah, his name's Al. And he kind of tries to help Sam figure out what it is, because he can't leap out of there until he figures out he has to change something in this person's life, which kind of messes with the laws of time travel. In my opinion, they're kind of screwing around with people's lives.
Yeah.
I
forget what to do here.
don't remember. But Sam's like, he's this really nice guy. He's very kind of calm, and he can be a little awkward, but he finds himself and he leaps into a body. He has no idea where he is or what's going on. Like, first episode, he's a fighter pilot or a test pilot in the Air Force. So he doesn't know how to fly planes. That's the catch of the episode. Oh, he has to fly this plane. Usually what he does is he either has to prevent someone from dying in order to leap, or get people together, fall in love. That's pretty much. But then some episodes it was something dumb. It was something really small.
Okay.
Like the one episode, he thought was supposed to get together with this girl, but it never happened. But there was this kid playing the guitar. You'd see him every now and then. You didn't know his name. He had glasses. It turned out it was Buddy Holly. And all he had to do was teach him Peggy Sue to leap. And that was the end. Yeah. But he thinks they have this theory that he's leaping, that God or time or someone is sending him on these little missions to see these people's lives change past. So he's hoping the next time he leaps, he's going to be home.
Okay.
He's going to get back to the present day, back in his own body. Now, when he leaps into a body, when he looks into a mirror, he sees who he's in. Cause everyone else can see, you know. But Al, nobody sees Al. Al sits there and tries to help him. I mean, it's a cute little show. I mean, it's very simple. I mean, each episode is a different story.
That's what it does.
Yeah, that's the way it was back then. You know, they didn't do long, drawn out. So the first season is only 10 episodes. The first episode was actually a 2-hour premiere. But at the end of every episode, he leaps into a new body, and it gives you kind of a preview of what the next episode's going to be.
Okay.
You know, like he leapt into a farmer, and he's holding a pig. He's like, what? He always says, oh boy. They didn't start that in the first season, but later on, he always would say, oh boy, and that would end. That became like the thing. But the first season, they didn't really do that. Or he leaps into a dead body on the ground. And the best episode so far, he leapt into a black man in the 50s. And he's sitting in a white diner, you know, and that was a good episode, actually. It was about the whole segregation, you know. That one was really good so far. Some of them are okay, but it's humorous to see how he gets himself out of these. Right. I mean, he's kind of happy-go-lucky. I mean, he's you know, Scott Bakula plays the character. He's really good. Him and Al have a really good rapport. Like, they're the only characters you ever see. There's no recurring characters in the show. It's basically two, him and Al. So it's 5 seasons. Looks good in HD. Looks decent. I mean, it's too bad more shows aren't on HD. I mean, I don't understand why people aren't getting on this. Because
You're asking too much.
I'm not really. If they could do Quantum Leap, you know, why can't they do anything else? There's no special features though. That kind of sucks. Oh well. It's a nice show. It's always fun to see what he's going to get himself into. Now, this season ended with him jumping into the body of a woman, which we haven't seen yet. He's in a bathtub, and he's like, Miss? and that's how it ended. So I got 5 seasons to see what kind of predicaments he gets himself into. Now, there are some episodes where he might see somebody he knew in his personal life. And this is what I don't understand. And and in the episode, Al tells him, you can't change things in your own life. You're gonna, you know. Well, he does. And nothing happened. Like their logic for time travel is a little odd in this show. Like he's changing history constantly. And he actually changed something in his own life.
Okay.
Because he leapt into leaped. I don't know what you say.
Whatever.
He quantum leaped into this professor at the college. And in this college was a younger version of the woman he fell in love with later, and who left him at the altar. So he found out the reasons why, because she had daddy issues. So he thought, well, if I get her and her dad together, then maybe she'll marry me. But she was engaged to a guy before that. So I was like, well, you know, she's probably going to marry the guy before you. He's like, oh. But still, that means he never would have met her.
Yeah.
That would have been a fundamental change, but they never would tell you. So I'm like, how can you get away with this, Sam Beckett? He's a scientist, for goodness sakes.
It's a show.
I know, but I just think that's funny. I find that to be humorous. It's a very, you know, it's a fun show sometimes. It gets serious sometimes, but it's, you know.
Yeah.
It's interesting. I always love the. They thought about reboot. I read that they were going to reboot this show, like do a brand new one. It never happened. But then I read that the guy who created the show is writing a feature film version.
Oh.
This was just back in October. I heard that. It ain't gonna be as good.
You never know.
Like, no. How are they gonna do feature film? I guess you can leap. I guess you can have a couple different stories in a movie.
Yeah.
Like Twilight Zone movie. You ever hear about the Twilight Zone movie?
No.
The guy got killed filming that. He got his the helicopter. It was in Vietnam. He was in Vietnam, and his helicopter shot his head off. So when you watch that movie, and you get to that story, it just cuts and goes right to the next story. So you never see the end. Because because they never finished filming it because the guy got killed.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty wild. Anyway, I'm going off topic here. Did I talk about Walking Dead and the stupid death?
No.
Didn't I?
Maybe. I don't know.
It was the worst death they've ever done because they didn't really show it. I think I did talk about it.
Yeah, you might have.
Classic X-Men Omnibus, which I've been waiting for it. I've been talking about this for a while. I've read the whole thing. And now let me explain what Classic X-Men is, okay? In the 80s, Marvel released a series called it's called X-Men Classic, not Classic X-Men. X-Men Classic. No, Classic X-Men. They changed the title there.
Okay.
Okay, and what it did was it reprinted Uncanny X-Men from Giant Size from the reboot in the 70s when Wolverine and all them joined Storm.
Yeah.
It was reprints of those issues in order. But what they did was it wasn't just straight up reprints. They added bonus stories in the back
Okay.
that fleshed out a little, like character stories in the back that usually took place during the story or after the story that was reprinted in the comic. But not only did they do that, but they fixed errors, changed inconsistencies in dialogue and stuff, and added new pages in the reprints themselves to flesh out the story a little better. And this freaking omnibus has those pages in it. It doesn't reprint the whole original story.
Yeah.
It just has the new stuff. It tells you what's been edited and why
Yeah.
like dialogue was changed. Like they fixed stuff with Nightcrawler because originally he said Nightcrawler would go invisible when he went in the shadows, but later on they changed that.
Okay.
So when they did these reprints, they changed it. So they took out all reference to him being invisible in the shadows. So I like that stuff. They did a George Lucas kind of going back and changing things,
Okay. Yeah.
which was cool.
Did you ever notice that he puts the Sheikah slate up to the treasure chest to open it?
No.
Huh? He does do that.
Anyway, the first 44 issues of Classic X-Men, the first 27 issues they made additions to the original story and edits.
Okay.
After issue 28, they stopped doing that, but they kept doing the backup stories. The backup stories, they went up to issue 44, and then they stopped doing the backup stories. And then the reprints just ran till like 110. Or after the dark. No, I forget what. No. So all that stuff's included here. It's fantastic stories, man. It's great stuff. It really is. This is probably one of the best omnibuses I've ever read. It's great. It's great.
Great.
They're just 10-page bonus stories.
Okay.
I mean, there's one where Wolverine's flirting with Jean Grey. It's fantastic. Like, I don't think I've ever seen that before. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff. Like, a lot of stuff with Phoenix. Because this was around when she died.
Okay.
And became Phoenix. So a lot of stuff with her. I don't know. I'm not even going to go into all that stuff. I'd be here all day talking about that crap. Okay, that's it. Oh, Neil Young. I got Neil Young albums. His first, second box set of his original releases, 5 to 8, and I've listened to two so far. And you know, Neil Young, can't go wrong with Neil Young. I won't go into all that. What else did I say? Monopoly. We played Monopoly. You want to talk about that?
We didn't get to finish the game.
We played it.
We played it, but we didn't finish it. You got anything else?
I'm all talked out.
We're all talked out.
What is this?
Loud. It was. So, unlike last time, where we told another friend of ours who came on that we were going to...
Oh, Phantom Rain. Yeah, it's always not. Nobody's on now.
Yeah. So, we are going to be doing a snack crate, which is going to be our taste test.
Yep. Finally.
Yeah.
We don't know where it's from. I don't know where it's from.
What did we say? We think it's from Germany?
I don't remember Germany being... Well, you might be right.
I mean, we'll find out.
I feel like I forget something. I watched and did a lot of things, man.
Obviously.
There's too much in my brain. There's too much. Wasn't there something else? Terminator 2. Oh, no, no, no. Don't really much to say with that. Poop.
So, yeah, I don't know what's in your mind. This glorious 2D Sonic.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah. I thought I was gonna die. So, you got anything else?
Oh, yes, the freaking X-Files came back on.
Okay.
As you all may know, X-Files is one of my favorite shows ever. Probably
Yes.
my favorite show of all time.
Yes.
I did not like the past last season, which was season 10. Well, this season, I'm hoping maybe they're going to fix something. Well, no.
Okay.
They added a twist, and X-Men. X-Files fans are hating. Hating.
Okay.
Now, the reason why I had such a problem with season 10 was in the original show, which is 9 seasons and 2 movies, they built up this the long story of that show was about the aliens and them wanting to colonize the planet, okay? In the
Okay.
final episode of the series, which ended in like 2002, 2003, okay?
Okay.
Final episode of the series, there was a date that the aliens were going to colonize the planet in 2012, okay?
Okay.
So we're up to season 10, which takes place after 2012. No mention of this alien colonization, which they built up for 9 seasons. No mention of this until this season premiere of season 11. The guy said, "Oh, the aliens decided not to colonize because we're wasting our resources." Really? Those
Makes
poor aliens did all
no
this
sense.
crap for 9 years, even more than that. All this time, these aliens wasted all their time. They just decided not to come. Seriously,
That makes no sense.
it was stupid. Like that was what I wanted. It was building up to this whole moment, and when they put that date, the end of the very last episode of the show, and they're not gonna follow up on it. No, we're gonna focus on their kid. And what do we find out in season 11? That freaking the smoking man is the real father, because he impregnated Scully back in season 7. But they did show clips from season 7 showing you where this could have happened, which I thought that's cool. They're building off of something from the past, not just making this up.
Right.
But still, it's stupid.
It sounds pretty
It's and they have to understand this show was written by Chris Carter, who created the show, who's the force behind all that stuff. It doesn't even feel like the X-Files anymore. So to me, these last 2 seasons are not real. They're not canon to me. They're not. I should read the comic book. There was a separate season 10 in the comics. I wonder if that's any better. But I don't even think they touched on the colonization either. Like, why are people bypassing this? It was the whole point of the show. Well, half the point, anyway.
Right.
So I'm gonna watch the Monster of the Week episodes. They've always been entertaining. Last year they were actually pretty good. The Monster of the Week. In fact, the one was one of the best X-Files episodes I've ever seen.
Okay.
Believe it or not, 2 years ago. It's been 2 years since season 10. And the other thing about it was, they're saying that the last episode of season 10 was all a vision in Scully's head. And ended on a cliffhanger. Didn't even really happen. This is Chris Carter, everybody. This is the guy behind the X-Files. It doesn't even feel like X-Files. I don't understand how it's the same people who made the show, and it doesn't even feel like the show anymore. It's
They lost their
disappointing.
touch.
It's like, why bother then? If you're not gonna be good, don't even do it.
They just lost their touch.
Well, they should have just done something completely different with the mythology. Cigarette smoking man should be dead. He was engulfed in flames in the last episode by a bomb, and he's still alive. Oh, he had surgery on his face. You can't survive that. I know it's the X-Files, but he ain't no superhuman. They never really explained that. Oh, it's fun. I was in hospital for a while. Was he in the hospital for 10 years, and all of a sudden, 10, 15 years later, he has this whole plot about unleashing this plague on the humanity. He's waited 10 years. He's sitting on his butt for 10 years. Like, I don't understand this. I'm sorry. I'm a big X-Files fan, and you just... I'll still watch it. My cousin, he's a big X-Files fan too. He was kind of saying this. He didn't like that twist either about cigarette smoking man being the dad. Maybe he's lying. He was known to be a liar. But why would they show this flashback to season 7? And then Skinner's being Skinner again. He's teaming up with Ahsoka Man again. He did the same thing in the series. He's doing the same thing he did in the show. Like, you didn't learn your lesson last time. Skinner can be easily bought. I love Skinner too. He's the assistant director of the FBI.
Okay.
I like him. He was always one of my favorite characters. So I'll continue watching. I'll see what they're gonna do because they're only doing 2 mythology episodes, the first one and the last. So we'll see. But I don't know. I'm very disappointed. It's sad, man. Whatever.
Sounds sad. Is that it?
I'm glad you asked if I had anything else because I almost forgot about that. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is continuing to be weird. I don't know if I really like it. This whole future thing has kind of played out for me.
Okay.
I mean, it's an interesting twist, but it's been done so many times. I mean, they're doing a comic booky type storyline.
Right.
The whole, no, their time travel really makes no sense. Okay? You want me to spoil it for you?
I don't care. Yeah, go ahead.
So, Earth is destroyed, and they're saying that Quake did it, Daisy did it, okay?
Yes.
They disappear in the past. Now, they go through a portal. Now, comic book logic and comic books, when somebody travels through time, they're going to an alternate dimension. Technically. 9 times out of 10, they're going to alternate future, not the actual future of one of possible futures. Okay, so in the show, they go through a portal, all of them except for Fitz. Fitz stays behind. He meets up with this guy who freezes him. So he goes to the future.
Okay.
That logic doesn't make sense. He should be going to a completely different future. Because he's sleeping. He's not going to a portal. He's getting there the natural way, technically. And what doesn't make sense is how is the Earth destroyed if Daisy's not even there, if she's in the future? So you explain, unless they explain this, how does she destroy the planet? Fitz sleeps through the whole thing. When he wakes up, Earth should still be there. Unless Daisy didn't do it. So their time travel log is really messed up. Time travel's hard to write.
Yeah, it is.
I once wrote a movie that involved time travel, and wrapping your head around it is pretty hard.
Yeah,
Unless you do something like Star Trek. I think I talked about this before, how Star Trek Next Generation had the best time travel logic I've ever seen. It was a loop. I kind of forget how. I didn't talk about that, how they found Dave's head.
Yeah.
And in a cavern, and then he actually did die in the past, or his head actually really did go off.
Yeah.
Like it had happened. Like nothing changed. That was the most. It was the most thought out, logical time travel logic I've ever heard. Time travel. People have their own makeup, their own rules. Usually, it's if you go in it's an alternate dimension. Very rarely, except for the Age of Apocalypse. The Age of Apocalypse actually changed it when they went to the past.
It's funny in Kingdom Hearts, time travel is in Kingdom Hearts, and their logic is you need to have a version of yourself in that time period already before you can time travel to that place.
Why did they inhabit that body then? What do you mean?
The guy who does it is kind of like he can take over
Like Back to
certain
the
bodies
Quantum
of it. I guess so, but it's a little different. But he's like, you have to have a version of yourself already at a place before you.
See,
can
this is the other thing. Quantum Leap, when he goes into the person's body,
Yes.
that person actually goes into the future. That's what they mentioned. They mentioned that only twice. They mentioned it.
Huh.
Then that person, I guess, comes back. Now, what happens when that person comes back?
Like, do they remember? Or
I
is it
don't
kinda
know.
Just like what just happened, or I just.
I
slept or
think so, because
something?
when he first quantum leaped, he couldn't remember anything.
Alright.
He didn't remember where he was from. Like, his memories slowly come back through the course of the season, and Al has to kind of tell him stuff. So I assume that when they come back into their body, they don't really remember that they were. Well, the one time, he was in the middle of, he just had sex with a woman, and he leaped in, So the guy came back, the guy that left out into the future, I was like, that guy didn't leave much to the imagination.
Yeah, I know, right?
So it's funny sometimes. I will say that. It has its moments where it's humorous. And he cheats too. Oh yes, he cheats. He uses his future knowledge to get away with stuff. I guess he has to. I mean, he kind of just.
Yeah.
It's funny. He was a boxer in the one with the nuns. I don't know what the nuns were.
Wait, he boxed with nuns.
The nuns were like supporting him or something.
Sounds like Nacho Libre.
No, he didn't box with them. They just, I don't know. All the money that he won went to them.
That sounds like Nacho Libre.
And every episode he's with a woman that he falls in love with. Every episode there's a woman he's with. It's like, oh my gosh, you fall in love with every woman you're with. Jeez. He kind of reminds me of Peter Parker, but not as jokey. That's what he kind of is like. He's probably a little smarter. He's like 6 degrees.
Okay.
He is. He's a very nice guy. He does make a little bit of jokes. He's kind of awkward. You've never seen the show?
No.
It's interesting. I will say, I always liked the idea of that show. Great idea for a show. Just they limited themselves to his lifetime. I don't know why they did that. Like, I don't know if they ever do anything in the 80s. So far, I haven't. It's been 50s, 60s, 70s since he's been in.
Okay.
I haven't seen any 80s yet. I'm trying to remember from my childhood some episodes. I feel like there was an episode where him and Al switched places somehow.
Okay.
And he actually got to go back to the present.
Okay.
And Al was stuck doing he was the hologram. Sam was the hologram.
Okay.
I feel like there was another episode where there was like an evil quantum leaper and an evil hologram person. I vaguely remember this.
There probably is.
Like, yeah, that was kind of the thing back in the day. That
Yeah.
They were doing evil things.
Yeah.
I might be wrong about that. Maybe that's just my fan fiction. He was a teenager. The one, he was a teen.
Okay.
It was really interesting. The funny thing is he kisses a teenage girl at the end. Like, he's got to be in his 40s. I'm pretty sure he's in his 40s.
Okay.
Like, didn't seem to bother him at all.
Well, that's like in Elf, where you have Will Ferrell kiss Zoe Deschanel, and Will Ferrell's like...
Wait, but she's not. How old is she? She's in her 20s. This girl was in high school. I'm guaranteed she was
Okay.
probably younger than 18. He was a teenager, but
Right.
not really.
Right.
But he did. He kissed her. That's how he leaped. They had to kiss her. So, and then he leaps. He all the blue goes on. And he goes into the body. He's like, oh, what am I doing? And how he figures out where places are and stuff, I don't know. He is a smart guy, but my gosh, you have to figure out where everything is, people's names. Like,
Yeah.
that poor man. Every day, he doesn't know what he's getting himself into. And that's part of what made it interesting to me.
Right.
And I remember the last episode. I do remember being kind of saddened by it, but I won't spoil it for you.
I'm probably not gonna watch it.
Why not? You should. It's interesting. It's a very wholesome show. He's a good role model.
As he sleeps with everybody, he comes.
Well, he's technically married to them. Some of them. So I mean, he doesn't have a choice. He has to pretend he's these
so.
people. But it's funny, he doesn't know what's going on at the time, you know. It's just funny to see him in these really awkward situations. I think that's what makes me keep coming back. You just want to see, like, what's he gonna get himself into next? Like, next he's a woman. Like, how do you do that? I think I was reading the back of the one. I think he's a blind pianist in one of them. Like, how do you just act like he's blind? Like, I don't think I've seen that episode. 5 seasons. There's like 22 episodes a season after season 1.
Wow.
Yeah. There's a baseball player. He left in 2 bodies in the premiere in 2 hours. The baseball player. I'm trying to remember what they all were. It was a test pilot, baseball player, farmer. Well, no, he wasn't a farmer. He was a doctor on the farm because he tried to win the woman over. She didn't want to get married, and she challenged him. Of course, he fell in love with her. He was a private detective. He was the black man. He was a boxer, professor. teenager. That's 8. Oh shoot. How? What else? That's 8. That's. I got 2 more, and I can't freaking remember what they are now. Oh, he was an Italian, like. He was in like sort of a mob boss family.
Okay.
He's Italian. That was another one. He left in 2 different bodies in that in the same family, and that's why he left in the other guy's body.
Oh,
That's right, he did. Okay, what was the last one? What was it? Well, I don't know. I don't remember what the last one was. It was 10 episodes. No, I'm missing 2 because he was 2 and 1. Freak out.
What time is it?
7:41.
Alright. Well, like I said, we're probably going to be hopefully doing our taste test of the snack crate here in a little bit. So tune in for that. So until next week, everybody, thank you all for listening. And here's the chicken with our weather.
Chicken? What chicken?
This one. Seems the weather is going to be rainy and stormy. So thank you all for tuning in. Until next week, everybody. Sayonara. I'm not stopping until I beat this boss. You will die. You will die, big man. I swear. I'm gonna die. Haha! Alright, guys. Hey, look. He's on playing Xenoblade Chronicles 2.
Who is?
Justin.
I
Just
see.
showed that he was on. Fun little fact, everybody. This thing says Egg TV. It says 7/22/2016. And if you listen very carefully, it has this slight hum. And that's because 7/22/16 was when the Sonic team did their Sonic anniversary live stream. And they had a ton of sound issues. So at a lot of points you just heard this buzzing noise. So they actually put that in this game. For some reason. So yeah. Anyway.
Are we still on?
Yeah,
72 minutes. And I rambled on and on and on. Glossed over everything that I should have went more time on. You know that.
Thank
That's
you
the problem
all.
with Christmas time.
Thank
We
you
get
all
too
for
much
listening.
stuff.
Tune in next week for
Ooh,
even more
yeah.
silliness. Maybe direct. We'll see. Until then, everybody, sign
What
on.
do you want to see
Everything.
on a direct? Tell us now.
Oh my gosh. Animal Crossing, Smash Brothers.
Animal Crossing.
Yes. Animal Crossing Switch.
They're doing Pokemon Switch, aren't they?
Yeah, but that probably's not going to be this year.
What the
Smash
heck?
Brothers,
That's gonna bug
Virtual
me.
Console. Grand Theft Auto, because that's a rumor.